Sing to the Lord a new song. Sound a fanfare with all your skill upon the trumpet. Psalm 33, verse 3. My name is Stephen Buzard, and I'm the Canon Director of Music at St. James Cathedral in Chicago. This video is the first installment of a series called Musical Mondays, in which I will be discussing various aspects of the Episcopal musical tradition and how we embody that tradition and the theology behind it in the music that we make at St. James. I thought a good place to start would be with the Voluntary. The Voluntary, also known as the prelude or the postlude, is an organ piece played before or after a worship service. As its name would suggest, the Voluntary stems from a long-standing tradition of the organist improvising before and after a service, often to cover the movement of the choir and the clergy in and out of the sanctuary. Churches are very busy spaces. The choir is practicing, readers are rehearsing, incense is being stoked, and chairs are being shuffled around. The Voluntary signifies to the congregation that those preparations are coming to an end, and we are about to enter a time of holiness. The Voluntary serves as a bridge between that secular time and that sacred time. Likewise, the closing Voluntary serves as a bridge from the service to the world, sending us out to do that work that we've been commended to do. I like to think of the opening Voluntary as like the overture of an opera or a musical. It sets the stage for the service to come. When I am choosing a Voluntary, I often think about the emotional arc of that service. If it is to be a particularly penitential service, I will choose something solemn and somber. If, on the other hand, the service is one that will be joyful and we want it to start with a high level of energy, I will play something more exuberant. If there's a particularly impactful hymn in the service, I will choose a Voluntary that's based on that hymn tune. If we are singing music by a particular composer, I might choose something written by that composer or by one of their contemporaries. Sometimes I can use the Voluntary as a space for contrast. Let's say we're singing all Renaissance music on a particular Sunday. I might choose something more modern so that there's a bit of variety. I like to think of the Voluntaries as being like the frame around a picture. The Voluntaries are not a part of the picture itself. Rather, the frame serves as a bridge between the space and the work of art. It directs the viewer's eyes toward that work of art and helps them focus on the important things about that. The Voluntary is not necessarily a part of the worship service itself, but it's also not a part of the secular space around it. It's a transition and a bridge. It helps us focus and helps us set apart that time that we spend in worship together. For the 9 o'clock service and for Wednesday evensongs, I often improvise these Voluntaries so that they can stay really finely tuned to the needs of each of those worship spaces and those offerings. On Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. and Sunday evensong, on the other hand, I will play something more extensive before and after the services. Complexity and virtuosity are part of the offering that I make to God, and I see the Voluntary as an opportunity for me to offer that very best part of myself and the honing of my talents and my skills at the organ to God. As the psalmist says, "Sing to the Lord a new song, sound a fanfare with all your skill." Therefore, I see the Voluntary as an opportunity to offer the best of my skills, challenge myself, and devote the best of myself to God. What better offering could there be than that?